Welcome to the Product Boss Podcast, where we help product-based businesses grow their sales and improve their strategies.
Hey everyone, I want to introduce you to my co-host and biz bestie, Mina Kunlo-Sitep, an Amazon guru that has built a multi-six-figure product-based business.
And introducing the other half of the Product Boss, Jacqueline Snyder. She has helped launch and grow over 500 fashion apparel and accessory brands, even one of her own.
And together, we share our inventory of secret weapons that will help you dig deep and do the work it takes.
Are you ready? Let's build together.
Hey, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the Product Boss Podcast. I'm your host, Jacqueline Snyder, with my constantly learning co-host, Mina Kunlo-Sitep. Hey, Mina.
Hey, Jacqueline.
Okay, so today's episode we're really excited about. We're excited to share some amazing stories with you guys. But this episode is about adapting and thriving. And this is just something as human beings we have always done. We've always adapted and we've learned to thrive. And so whether it is for current day situations of social distancing or whether that you learn to adapt and thrive in new situations, new economies, new things that are thrown your way, right? Like maybe someone pops up and says, hey, you want to come to this event? And you have to figure out how to adapt for it and thrive. And we're going to jump into some stories with some of our students that we're so excited about the things that they've done. And we want to share some uplifting stories with you.
Yeah, I mean, especially as the online world is expanding and we being entrepreneurs working from home anyways, there is this time of a bit of uncertainty, but how are we going to adapt and pivot? And I think that we're really starting to see like the real leaders, the real innovators, the real creative people, and really thinking, okay, I can adapt to this.
And also just be so grateful that as a small business, you do have the ability to pivot. You have the ability to make changes. You have the ability to adapt. We're so excited about some of the, like I said, these stories that are coming out of our community.
Yeah. And, I'd also like to say this isn't the first challenge I'm sure every single one of you guys listening has ever encountered. Like we've all gone through challenging times, but at the same time, like we look back and we've become stronger from it, right? So being stronger from this situation, tackling it together, adapting and thriving is really what we wanted to share with you, and just to get you inspired, right? Because taking this pause, getting to rework the clay, getting to dream a bit more, getting to look at it from a different angle, that's what really we want you guys to be doing during this time.
Yeah. But first, I just want to remind you guys that tomorrow Multi-Stream Machine comes out. It is our signature course. It will help you figure out how to sell more of your products on more platforms to increase your sales and your revenue. Now, some of you that we've actually added an adapt and thrive module to each or lesson to each module, which is actually going to go over each module and teach you how do you adapt and thrive right now in that current module. So, for example, if you sell on Amazon or you want to sell on Amazon, we actually created a whole other lesson on if you're currently selling, how do you navigate that? And if you want to sell on Amazon, ways in which you can still go live and make it work for you right now.
Right. Super excited about this addition to it because it really makes it relevant. And honestly, we're helping people immediately right now in this time of, adapting, right? So I really love these words. I think for those of you who know me, you know that I like to anchor things on words. And so adapt and thrive has really become one of the things right now that I am anchoring my actions on. So, so then we can look back and be like, we did it. We got through it and we adapted and we thrived through it together.
Yeah. So just as a real quick on that. So what we wanted to do in Multi-Stream Machine was this course is you get all of the modules at once. You can access any part of it at any point. So if you want to learn how to improve your SEO or what the things you need to do on your website so that it sells more for you. If you want to work on your systems, if you want to work on visibility and social platforms, leaning into video, if you want to sell wholesale or you're currently selling wholesale. If you guys were supposed to go to in-person events and those were canceled. The whole thing about Multi-Stream Machine when we created it was that we wanted to give you alternative platforms because Mina and I always talked about if one of your legs was kicked out from under you, right? If one of your sales channels was kicked out from under you, what would you do? What would you lean into? What would keep your business going? So that was the whole concept of multi-stream machine originally. Well, today more than ever, do we need to have alternatives for selling our product in ways that maybe we weren't expecting or that we had to adapt to right away to do. So we've really dug into every single module and we've created some ideas and plans and ways to use each one for you to use, like Mina said, right now. And then when we get through this, like we've said, it's temporary ways in which you can grow on these platforms so that you will always have more legs to stand on. So Multi-Stream Machine is open from March 27th to April 1st. Make sure to head over to multistreammachine.com. We'll put that in the show notes. And we're going to jump into these like amazing stories for you right now because we just want to share with you some ways that people are adopting and thriving.
Yeah.
All right.
First one, Jacqueline, is?
So should we start with Larissa Loden? So Larissa is a jewelry designer and she has hundreds of retailers. She sells wholesale, plus she sells direct to customers through her online store. And she does in person. So she has a lot of different sales platforms in which she sells on. Well, during this time when retailers' doors are closed, she also has to innovate on ways in which she can keep selling her stuff. A lot of you are jewelry designers and a lot of you have asked us, like, how do I keep selling jewelry during this time? Well, Larissa is a genius and she created at-home kits. So she went and she looked at all the components in her office and she thought, what do I have and what can I help people make or teach them to make at home? Because right now people are kind of digging into hobbies, things to pass the time. They're looking for things to do or to learn. And so she actually created some incredible kits of bracelets that she sold and she sold out of within 24 hours.
Yeah. And keeping that in mind that, you know, there's lots of jewelry makers out there. I think that her brand is so cool that there's anybody that can take this sort of idea and it's the consumer that decides what they want to create and what they want to make and what they want to learn with their kids, let's say. So I love her actual brand. She has a really loyal following. I know that people are wondering if it's insensitive to be selling right now. Absolutely not. I want to be sold to because now my life has changed and I'm wondering what to do with my time, or I'm really hoping that somebody helps solve my problems, or all these different things. So I don't think that people have to shy away from the fact that they're selling things.
And people will still buy if they want her earrings or her necklaces, or she still runs sales or promotions towards product that she already had out. Great. But how does she kind of like get relevant for people or get in front of people or encourage sales? Because we all have businesses and teams and ourselves and our families to support. So the idea of looking through her components, I'm thinking, hey, here's a cute kit to put together. It doesn't mean she has to have hundreds and hundreds of them. She can come up with a bunch of different kits because guess what? If that one person who bought the first kit loved it, they might come back and buy another kit, or they might tell their friends about it or their sister or whomever. So I like that you're saying though, Mina, about giving people things to do because I want to flip this. So there's the people who are jewelry and you might have components that you can sell. Mm-hmm. Then we have some people that are making home decor. So here's a shout out to Zatka Decor. And Zatka Decor makes home decor made out of cement.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yes, she does. And she was in a lot of in-person events where she was selling at different markets locally to her in Los Angeles, and those were all canceled.
Yes. So she did a lot of in-person, and she's also newer to the business and she's just kind of starting, and with the in-person events not happening. So she's in Los Angeles and she's starting to create at-home decor kits where she's going to create something really special for people to make. And she's actually, because she doesn't have as big of a list because she's a newer business, she's leaning into local. So she's doing local drop off and pickup in LA. She's in a pretty hip neighborhood in LA. And she's going to lean into helping people learn something creative and make something fun, but she's leaning into local. So Larissa, who's a huge brand and has a huge list, versus Zatka, who is a newer brand, they're both thinking of the same idea to take their raw goods, create kits and lessons and be helpful to their customers and teach them something right now when they have the time to sit home and try it themselves.
I mean, I think it's genius. I love that they're doing it. We're seeing that a lot with the restaurant industry here in Iowa, is that a lot of them are doing like at home, here's all the quote unquote raw goods. So it's foods, right? Here's everything you need to make this pasta. Alcohol is extra, of course. They put that in there. And here's all the stuff to make our burgers. We have Fong's Pizza, which is like, they have such a loyal following locally because they have like crab rangoon pizza and all these specialty things. And you get all the components in these little like containers and you get to do it with your kids. And when you're usually used to taking your kids out there and eating because it's an experience in itself. So I think it's so cool. It's really making people, like what you say, get curious, right? Get curious, get creative. Let's see this where this leads. And I love that they're adding to that experience and kind of flipping the restaurant idea, disrupting the way that people have always thought about it, and that we can bring it to you and give you something to do, but you have all those flavors that you find comfort in, and you get to do that with your kids.
Right. So here's the thing. I don't want you guys to get scared that this is going to take away business in the future. It's not. People are not going to have this time. They're not going to be as curious and as creative, right? Mm-hmm. Only a small percentage of people are going to go out and source this jewelry things to do themselves long term, and they may still buy from you. Majority of the people are just going to be delighted and excited by this experience you're providing for them as a brand, right? And you being innovative and you adapting, and they're going to support you in that. And then when things are back to normal, they're going to remember the experience they had with you during this time, because remember, we're all in this together. And then they're going to probably know, like, and trust you a bit more to stay top of mind for them if they want to buy concrete home decor or really cool jewelry.
Yeah. And it shows your customers that you're still shipping. A lot of the times I don't even know if things are closed or open, or if they're still shipping, or if they have things to buy. And so when they're like, hey, I have this jewelry kit, awesome. I didn't even know you guys were open. And it just reminds me that I can still be buying.
So if you guys want to support those two small businesses, you can head to zatkadecor.com. So it's zatkadecor.com to support her. And if you want to support Larissa Loden Jewelry, it's her name, Larissa, LarissALODEN.com. So those are just two people that we feel like are innovating with these at-home kits, and we're really excited to see what they do with them.
Right. Both on Instagram too, if you guys want to follow them.
Yeah. Okay. So next, let's jump into local. I want to shout out Liberate and Lather. She's been in our community and our programs. I also want to shout out Mother Snacker. We have talked about Mother Snacker, and inspired by her, we've helped through DM and in our lives. We've kind of talked to Liberate and Lather, and we've kind of helped.
And coincidentally, they're both in Washington State.
Right, which was the original epicenter of COVID-19 in the United States. And both of them are thriving by doing local pickup and drop off of their products. So let's talk about Liberate and Lather. You ready?
Yeah. So she sells bath and body products, I would say, right? That's how you describe it.
Yeah. So she shouted us out, and that's how we know that she's doing well with us. So she's a creative soap maker. She's a self-care strategist and habitual journal writer, right? And she creates these beautiful products of lotions and toners and cleansers and body care and facial care. And so when she started, she's in the Washington State, and she started sort of seeing like this wasn't the priority for people. So what did she do? She decided to go local. She reached out to her local community on social, on let's call it Facebook, to local Facebook groups. And she said, hey, I'm doing drop off or pickup for people in this area. And this is what she wrote. She put, doorstep delivery this morning, taking a 5-minute break from spring cleaning and enjoying my products. And so this person posted and said, thank you so much for all of this. It smells like a bakery shop. So she delighted her local customer, and she dropped it off, and she made a sale. And there's 3 different products she sold in that. So she bundled it together as well.
Yeah, I love that. You know, even if they're making short-term sales, or even if it doesn't even, let's say, produce the amount of sales you want it to, you're adapting, you're being creative, you're showing these people that you're willing to come to them, you're taking good care of them. I think there's a goodwill that comes to that too. You're seeing them, you're hearing them, you're acknowledging them, you're saying, here's how I can serve you. And I just love that, the whole thing.
Because when somebody buys local from you for porch pickup or drop off, they're probably going to buy more than one thing. So this other order, because she's posted and tagged us on 2 things right now, this person bought 4 bars of soap, 2 candles, and 2 of her lather products. And this person posted also. So remember, now you're getting in front of these other people's audiences or followers or friends and family. And she wrote, best-selling package I have ever received. Thank you to Liberate and Lather for these amazing products. So this is the way that you guys lean in.
Best smelling, right?
Oh, did I not say that? Best smelling.
I think you said best selling. I think you got bestseller on the mind. I was like, how did she know it's best selling? Yeah, I think it was best smelling.
It was. But she's getting in front of those people and they're posting it too because her customers are delighted. Mother Snacker did the same thing. She was local and she does snack boxes for mamas. And right when Seattle started shutting things down and saying your kids are home with you, remember that, guys, when panic ensued, when they're like, what do I do with my children? And she basically she's like, hey, mamas, I'll deliver you to your doorstep. So you don't have to go anywhere, a snack box to kind of like support you. So what did you say to her for Mother Snacker? What did you say to her why you feel like the reason why people were buying from her?
Yeah. And I think I mentioned this in the other podcast episode, but I think that when we are stuck at home with our kids, one of the things is you kind of feel lost in it, right? You don't feel seen and heard. And it's not like they cared about their snacks per se, which they, I'm sure, love them. It's the fact that somebody was like, I totally get it. It's overwhelming. It's a lot. It's a huge transition that you're just thrown into with some, big announcement. And I'm right there with you. And here's some chocolate for you. And this will make you feel better. So also, it's like when we shove ourselves into the closet and sneak a candy bar.
What do you know me? Every day?
And that's like the feeling you get like, oh my gosh, I needed that. And thank you for delivering it to me. So she did such a great job. I know for both of those people, they're more towards the introvert end than they are extrovert end, which is, I like to say, my team.
Team Mina.
Team Mina. And because we know that Jacqueline, she has no problem like putting herself out there. It's a little bit more work for some of us. And you know what, you guys, you can do it. You can adapt. You can thrive. You can put yourself out there and people will appreciate it. And I think that right now is when people need it the most because we are all in control of the things that we put out into the world. So if it's positivity, if it's useful information, if it's a chocolate bar, if it's self-care, if it's whatever it is, we're all in this together. And I think that it's a good reminder for all of us that we just acknowledge each other for that. Hey, I'm there too. And here's what I have.
Absolutely. Okay. So another shout out that we want to do is for Bree Calloway Beauty. So you can follow, really going back to that. So it's Liberate and Lather was the other brand.
These will all be in the show notes too.
And Mother Snacker.
Yeah.
So then we're going to talk about Be Lashed, which is b.lashed and Brie Calloway. And you can follow her also on Instagram. She does amazing things on there. We're big fans because we started just following her on Instagram. But what we're watching her do as she innovates, as she adapts, and she thrives during this time is really interesting. And we want to share that as well. So she sells fake lashes. So she sells false lashes that are reusable.
I think they're mink, right? So Brie is amazing on video. So she had that skill set. The thing I want to call out in all this is that she's really leaned into her superpower. And that is one, being a leader, and two, being amazing at video. So she leaned more into that. She used to have a lash class. Now she has even more of that. She's doing videos like crazy. She's really rounding it out with calling out the feeling of false lashes really comes down to feeling good about yourself. So what are some things that you're appreciating now? What are some things that you love? We're here for you. All of that put together, you can tell she's a genius/video genius in the works.
So Team Jacqueline is what you're saying?
Team Jacqueline, I'm going to have to say. I mean, truly. So I love that because she really is leaning into what she does really naturally. And she's using her superpower for good.
Yeah, she's comfortable on video. But why we wanted to bring her up was the things that she's doing. So she offers lash class, which already was something she was supporting her community in, where she was teaching people about lashes, fake lashes, how to apply them, all the things, right? But what we've seen her innovate with is that she's done a makeup tutorial or makeup class. So it's still around the general topic of what people, if they're buying lashes, they're most likely into makeup. She did a video last week on what's in her makeup bag, and she went through the products, and this has nothing to do with sales for her purpose, but if you follow her, you follow this girl's makeup and you follow her lashes. She goes on camera with makeup and without makeup. She shows you her transformations. And so
Half the time her daughter's jumping on her back.
she's a small baby. So she's also just a really good example, or a toddler. She's a good example of showing you somebody who shows up, because some of you feel scared that you have to look a certain way or be prepared in a certain way. And Mina and I are trying to model this for you. Like I said,
oh, that's what we're when we look crazy. That's
I
what
had
we're trying
a
to do.
stain on my clothes when I did a live last night. But I just want people to see you can show up. You'll see us sometimes show up full makeup and lashes from B-Lash, or you'll see us show up just like we were just with our kids and being pummeled by them, and we were going live to share with you. Mm-hmm. So she's just getting really creative and showing up on video and providing other sort of lessons or help that's generally content that her customer is going to like. And by showing up for them in that way, she's going to help create that like trust factor, which will help also promote more sales of her lashes.
Yeah, for sure. I like her innovation. And this is more just leaning what she's already been doing, but she's really dynamic in all the things she's doing. She does not only lash class, but she does a lot of video. She also does a lot of stills. She also does a lot of words, so you can read it at the same time. She does screenshot, call outs. She does user generated content. She does it all. And it keeps the customer curious and interested and invested. I think that she's taken it one step further into something that she does naturally.
And so right now, even in her story, she's got available now, B-Lash gift cards available. And she shows the gift cards. And then she says, why purchase a gift card? You want to share this with your bestie, right? Or you've got a problem. So she's giving them solutions to problems, right? And she's leaning into gift cards because maybe people right now aren't necessarily going out. Maybe they don't feel the need for lashes. Or the other reason we wanted to bring her up was as this was transitioning and where I am in New Jersey, salons have shut down. Have they shut down where you are yet?
Yeah, actually just last night.
Okay. Mm-hmm. So the thing that she was doing, and she could still do, and you guys can think of this too, is we kind of coached her on this and said, you can reach out to some of the people who do lashes, like Mina gets fake lashes applied every 2 weeks. I've seen Rachel Hollis freak out about what she's going to do about her lashes when she can't access getting her lashes done, because people who do their lashes, it's like, it's an extension, like they feel quote unquote naked without them. So what Brie is doing is she's approaching these people that are service-based biz and saying, in the meantime, you can buy wholesale from me and you can sell my lashes to your customers that you would typically be doing lash extensions on. And this is a way to keep your lashes going during this time. Super innovative.
It provides a solution, gives them a different option, because those people are not comfortable getting those individual lashes done. But how can they still be making money, right? And it could be that they're literally taking it virtual. Hey, I know you guys are used to coming to me and getting your lashes done, but here's what I have. I stand behind this product, blah, blah, blah. They become kind of influencers. And I think that that's really great. It's just creating this opportunity that was never there previously.
And before, they might have been competition, right? Before it was like false lashes or getting extensions. And now they're collaborating and supporting each other through it, because somebody who gets lash extensions is a very different person than someone so Team Mina with lash extensions versus Team Jacqueline, where I'm like, no, I got to be able to put them on and take them off. But we both have the same result, right? We both want to have lashes on for certain situations. So it's that idea of collaborating with people that maybe at one point might have been competitive with you as a service, and you're offering them alternatives. And she was doing that in general before. She was offering them alternatives for people who needed to take breaks from lashes. So this woman is just so innovative in thinking of ways that she can offer her product in different ways and still support her community.
Yeah. Also, I wanted to point something out. The reason why I love all these examples is because none of these people was sure of what the result was going to be. They didn't know. They still went for it. They're just so inspiring in the things that they're doing.
So we hope that these stories of fellow product-based businesses, fellow small businesses that have small teams or are solopreneurs, and how they're adapting and thriving is a way that you can also think about your business and figure out how you too can adapt and thrive. I do want to just share this quote. We shared it on Instagram if you follow us, but it's by Mary Kay Ash. She's the founder of Mary Kay Cosmetics. And this is what she had said. Never give up, because you never know if the next try is going to be the one that works. That is for always. It doesn't matter what day it is or what year it is or what's happening in the world. We don't want you guys to give up. We want you guys to constantly be adapting and thriving, and we want to support you in that.
Yeah.
We are human beings. We have adapted. I'm going to say it again. Since the beginning of time, humans have been through harder things. Like, imagine not having the internet or electric or heat or cars or any of the amazing technology tools that we currently have at our disposal right now. The fact that we can keep our businesses going and stay home. The fact that we can keep our kids educated and stay home. Okay, so we want to keep you guys adapting and thriving. I just want to remind you that Multi-Stream Machine, our signature course, opens up on Friday, March 27th, and the doors close again on April 1st. So we only open and close the doors every so often. And the coolest thing about us opening up Multi-Stream Machine is that we also added the Adapt and Thrive lessons into every single module to help you guys adapt and thrive through each one of these things, because we want you to have options, and we are also adapting and helping you thrive through the days ahead. And head to multistreammachine.com to grab your spot and work with us.
Thanks, everybody. This episode is over, but it doesn't have to end. Head over to our Facebook group, search for the Product Boss Biz Community, or the link is also in the show notes. Come connect with other product bosses just like you. We'll see you in there.
If you love the Product Boss podcast, we'd love for you to subscribe, share, rate, and give a review on iTunes. Until next time, Product Bosses, let's make it happen.